Good morning and welcome to the Sport for Business Daily. I'm delighted to be joined this morning by Brian Mahony. He's the Commercial and Marketing Director of Connacht Rugby. And the reason why we have Brian with us this morning is that Connacht Rugby have just announced a new 3-year partnership with US company based in Galway, with a big operation in Galway, Genesys. So you're very welcome, Brian. Delighted to have you on Sport for Business. Tell us a little bit about Genesys, about the deal and about the genesis, I guess, of where it came from.
Yeah, thanks, Rob, and thanks for having me on this morning. Yeah, no, look, it's fantastic to be able to announce this, especially at a time like this. Genesys are world leaders in technology, in customer experience technology and call center software, and really pushing that to the cloud. So obviously, at the moment, that's a pretty vital industry that they're in. And look, they do some incredible groundbreaking AI kind of work in R&D right here in Galway. It's their Centre for Excellence for AI. And look, they have some really exciting growth plans for Galway and for the west of Ireland, actually, in terms of recruitment. So yeah, look, in terms of the deal, actually, we structured a deal and actually came to terms well before Christmas, kind of before the whole lockdown happened. And I'm really pleased to put something kind of meaningful together. Obviously, Genesys will come on board as both the principal partner for the club, so the highest tier partner in the club, but also title partner for the professional team and also the women's team, which is really, really important for us. So as I said, yeah, we kind of came to terms before Christmas, kind of like anything in the tech space, kind of sat down, found that there was room to work, and then it kind of probably evolved pretty rapidly from there at a really interesting pace, actually. And I think it's a nice validation of or kind of where we are as a club at the moment, really, as an organization and kind of the brand we've kind of built as a club and have really gone from strength to strength with a really clear brand identity. And that was important for Genesys in terms of what we're doing, what we're trying to do for the community. And look, it's kind of nice because it strikes a nice balance in our portfolio. Obviously, Genesys are a huge global organization, 6,000 employees. I mean, they operate in 100 plus countries, but we have a nice balance in our sponsorship portfolio now between indigenous, companies that are set up in the west of Ireland and headquartered here, like Elvery's, Murray Timber, McDonald's Capital Investment, Port West, and then national brands like Bank of Ireland, and then world-class brands like Genesys. We've got Coca-Cola and Red Bull also. So yeah, we're pretty pleased with where we are at the moment.
When the company moved to Galway and when they took over, I think it was AltoCloud was the name of the local company that they bought a couple of years back. Was there a sense then that this was a potential partnership that could come about? Was there a connection to the existing company, or was there a sense of connection between the management then and now and what you're doing at the province?
Yeah, no, that's correct. Yeah, people probably know Barry O'Sullivan, probably from Dragon's Den, but a lot of people in the country might be familiar with him. But he was the CEO of AltoCloud, and you're right, they were kind of bought out by Genesys, because of the technology they're building. Look, I'd like to say if we particularly targeted them at the time, but what we do in the club generally, we have a whole host of in Galway. There's some amazing technology and businesses around med tech, around technology. And most of the kind of, C-suite people would attend our matches regularly. And so we'd obviously have ongoing conversations, just about the club and where we're going. And obviously people would be pretty aware of what we're trying to do and the brand we're trying to build in the west of Ireland and how we're trying to showcase that the west of Ireland is a great place to do business. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say that we target them specifically at that time, but obviously as they grow and as we grew together, then the conversation probably organically just happened. Which is probably a nice way to do a partnership because the timing is right for both parties.
And the CEO over in the US is an interesting guy as well. He took GoPro public. He's been involved in tech firms all the way through. Did you have any engagement with him? Was he involved in the process at all?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, and that's the great thing, and that's what we're very pleased with. Look, it's really been driven by the top leadership in Genesys on a local and national and international level. So yeah, as I said, Barry O'Sullivan has really been a key driver here. And then Tony Bates actually came over to sign the contract and has been involved from day one too with Barry. And look, yeah, no, he's a very impressive guy. Both individuals are, as I said, he took GoPro public. He was the CEO of Skype, senior VP in Microsoft. So, very credible guy to lead a company. And when he talks about where Genesys are going as a brand, it's really exciting, the technology they're implementing and how they're going to implement it and how they'll be able to really help businesses and hopefully help Connacht Rugby as we're on our journey to, to new facilities and new infrastructure. And
exciting, obviously, anytime you bring in a new sponsor. But you mentioned the fact that you've got an existing portfolio of sponsors as well. Intersport Elvis, they were on your jersey last year. They're staying on board as your official retail partner?
Yeah, absolutely. No, Elvis have been a really supportive partner over the last 4 years as our title partner on our professional kit and across the club. They are staying on board. Look, I can't say enough good things about how Elvis have supported us over the years. And look, it's still staying on as a top partner as a club, probably moving into a space that they're very comfortable with in terms of a retail partnership and kind of drive on our retail sales, because retail for us and our kit distribution and production over the last number of years has skyrocketed. There was a time you probably never saw a Connacht kit, and now even every time I drive to Dublin, it's, there's people walking around the streets of Dublin with it. Even so yeah, no, it's incredible the amount of kit we sell for probably a smaller population.
We'll have 15 players at least wearing the kit in Dublin this weekend. How are plans proceeding for the return to rugby? The Guinness Pro 14 obviously back at the weekend, and you're taking on Ulster in the big stadium on Sunday.
Yeah, really looking forward to actually getting back to playing. And look, that's ultimately what it's all about, isn't it? Trying to see some sport again and trying to stoke on. I think probably the community needs at a time like this, needs a bit of energy back into it and a bit of normality almost in some sense. Obviously, we've had a rough 24 hours with some of the announcements, but yeah, no, for the games actually, the kit that the team will be wearing will actually be the 1920 kit, because obviously we're still delivering value for our current partners in the current year, because the games are technically a part of the 1920 tournament still. So Genesys actually won't appear on pitch with the players until October. And that's just a bit of nuance around the funny times we live in at the moment. But really excited. The guys are really excited to get back. We witnessed saw a bit of video training there anyway, and it's there's certainly I think there's a bit of a build up of energy they've had over the last few months. So yeah, looking forward to just a good hit out, and fingers crossed all goes well. It's behind closed doors, but really looking forward to TG Carr. I think they'll deliver a really good broadcast. I think they're going to bring in a few new innovations too. So looking forward to the broadcast this weekend.
Great. We're living in historic times. You mentioned that sort of blow of the announcements just in the last number of hours about the restriction on training numbers, grassroots and local club level. Very early in the day, but are you expecting guidance to come through from the IRFU about what that's going to mean for clubs across the province?
Sure, I don't have a huge amount of information because I haven't managed to talk we have our all heads meeting later on and to kind of get feedback. But yeah, look, it's definitely challenging. I think like everything, the government probably have to do their best to lock down, and probably we'll see how it goes, and we'll probably analyze it then, like everything. Look, it's a really unpredictable and volatile time we live in, and I think everybody's probably trying to do the best to keep us all safe. And there's going to be, for the want of a better word, probably collateral damage around here in sport, unfortunately, and other businesses are hit like that. And it is unfortunate, but I would hope that like everybody's trying to do their best for the country and to manage this, because it's very serious if it does kick off. But look, fingers crossed it doesn't stop what sport is and what sport's about, because I know, Rob, you're a firm believer in that, like I am myself, that it's preventative medicine sport as well, almost more than anything. So it's vital, both physically and mentally, that people do get to participate in sport in a safe manner. But obviously, look, it's what goes on around the competitions and around training that is probably a threat, and I think that's probably what the government are anxious about, and then the chief medical officer is anxious about at the moment, I'd imagine.
We will see that emerging over the coming days, and as with all of these things, everything passes, and the long-term future of Connacht is now very much secured with the partnership with Genesys. 3 years is a great deal to have struck in such times. Obviously, you've got the redevelopment of the sports grounds as well, which was moving apace and which will regather momentum in time. We'll come back and talk about that at a later point. But the very best of luck for the weekend. The very best of luck with managing the whole return to rugby. And thanks very much for joining us this morning, Brian Mahony, Commercial and Marketing Director at Connacht Rugby.
Thanks very much, Rob.